Ever wondered how big tech's influence is shaping the political landscape? In today's digital age, a handful of technology titans hold an unprecedented amount of power. Companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple, often referred to as big tech, are more than just tech giants. They are influential players in the global economy and, as a result, in politics as well. These corporations have grown so vast and so influential that they can sway political decisions, shape public opinion, and even influence elections. Their reach extends beyond their users and customers, influencing not just the tech industry but the world at large. Take Google, for example. It's not just a search engine, it's a global powerhouse with a significant say in many aspects of our lives. From the information we access on the internet to the advertisements we see, Google's influence is pervasive. Or consider Amazon, the world's largest online retailer. Its founder, Jeff Bezos, is one of the wealthiest individuals on the planet. The company's vast wealth gives it a significant say in economic policies and labor laws. Facebook, with its billions of active users, has the power to influence public opinion on a massive scale. It can amplify voices, spread information or misinformation, and sway political debates. Apple, with its high-end devices and services, not only sets trends in the tech industry, but also has a significant impact on trade policies and intellectual property laws. These companies wield their power in various ways, including lobbying governments, funding political campaigns, and influencing public opinion through their platforms. Their enormous wealth allows them to have a significant say in political matters, often to protect their interests and maintain their dominance. But the power of big tech is not unlimited. They face scrutiny and backlash for their actions from both the public and regulatory bodies. And while they wield immense power, they also bear a great responsibility. But how did we get here? Let's take a trip down memory lane. To understand today, we need to look back at the birth of antitrust laws. Let's rewind the clock to the late 19th century. The year was 1890, and the United States was in the throes of the Industrial Revolution. Monopolies were forming, with giants like Standard Oil and the railroad companies dominating their respective markets. This consolidation of power led to a lack of competition, resulting in high prices and poor service for consumers. Enter the Sherman Act, the first federal act that outlawed monopolistic business practices. Named after Senator John Sherman of Ohio, who was a strong advocate for its passage, the Sherman Act aimed to preserve free and unfettered competition as the rule of trade. The act declared contracts, combinations, or conspiracies to restrain trade as illegal, and any form of monopolization was deemed a felony. The Sherman Act was the first legislative step towards ensuring competition, but it wasn't the last. In 1914, the Clayton Act further strengthened antitrust laws, addressing specific practices that the Sherman Act did not cover. The Federal Trade Commission was also established that same year to enforce these laws and prevent unfair methods of competition. The purpose of these laws was clear: to protect consumers and promote competition. They were designed to prevent businesses from gaining and abusing market power and to encourage multiple businesses to compete. This competition would lead to lower prices, better quality, and innovation, ultimately benefiting consumers. However, enforcing these laws was often a challenge. Determining what constitutes a monopoly or what practices are considered anti-competitive was not always clear-cut. Moreover, the rapidly evolving nature of industries and markets meant that these laws had to be interpreted and applied in diverse and complex contexts. Fast forward to the digital age, new challenges have emerged. But before we delve into that, it's essential to appreciate the origins of antitrust laws and their fundamental purpose: to foster competition and safeguard consumer interests. As we look at the issues surrounding big tech companies today, remember this core principle: it's the compass that guides our understanding and shapes the future of antitrust laws. In the 21st century, we've seen big tech grow exponentially, but how have antitrust laws kept up? As we navigated the digital revolution, technology giants, often referred to as big tech, have grown into behemoths. Their growth, while beneficial in many ways, has also given rise to several complex issues, one of which is their perceived monopolistic tendencies. And this is where antitrust laws kick in. Antitrust laws, as we learned earlier, were established to promote competition and prevent companies from establishing monopolies. But applying these laws to big tech has been a unique challenge. Let's take a walk down memory lane to the early 2000s. A key case that springs to mind is the Microsoft antitrust lawsuit. This case saw the U.S. government accusing Microsoft of maintaining its monopoly in the PC market through anti-competitive practices. the lawsuit took several years and eventually concluded in 2001, with Microsoft agreeing to make it easier for competitors to get their software onto Windows. Fast forward to more recent times, and we see similar legal battles being fought. In 2020, both Google and Facebook have had lawsuits filed against them by the US government. Google was accused of abusing its dominance in the online search and advertising market, while Facebook faced allegations of acquiring potential rivals to maintain its monopoly in the social media space. These cases highlight a critical question: are our current antitrust laws equipped to deal with the unique challenges posed by big tech? The tech industry, after all, is not like traditional markets. It's characterized by network effects, where the value of a service increases with the number of users, creating a natural tendency towards monopolies. Moreover, these companies often offer free services, complicating the issue further. After all, how do you measure harm to consumers in terms of prices when the price is zero? Big tech's influence on politics has raised new concerns about antitrust enforcement. As we move forward, it is clear that we need to rethink how we apply these laws to ensure a competitive and fair digital marketplace. So, how exactly does big tech influence politics? Well, the political influence of big tech is multifaceted and profound. Its influence can be seen in three dominant ways: through lobbying, campaign contributions, and control over information flow. Firstly, let's talk about lobbying. Big tech companies spend millions of dollars each year to lobby government officials, shaping policies in their favor. These companies use their deep pockets to hire top-notch lobbyists who understand the ins and outs of Washington, ensuring their interests are well represented. Then, there are campaign contributions. Much like other industries, big tech uses its financial muscle to back political candidates who support their business model or regulatory agenda. These contributions often come in the form of direct donations to candidates or indirectly through political action committees, also known as PACs. But perhaps the most significant and subtle way big tech wields its political influence is through its control over information flow. As the gatekeepers of digital information, these companies have the power to influence public opinion. They can decide what news, data, or perspectives reach their billions of users. This control can subtly shape political discourse, influencing how people perceive issues, events, and political figures. It's important to note that this isn't about painting big tech as a villain. These companies provide services that have revolutionized our lives. But the undeniable reality is that their vast influence has significant political implications. The challenge is how to regulate this influence. It's a complex task, not least because technology evolves so quickly. Regulations need to strike a balance, preserving the benefits of technological innovation while curbing potential abuses of power. Regulating this influence is a complex task, but it's crucial for a fair political landscape. As we move forward, it's essential to have an informed and nuanced conversation about the political influence of big tech and how we can ensure it's used responsibly. Looking forward, what does the future hold for antitrust laws and big tech? As we cruise into the future, we can expect antitrust laws to evolve in response to the growing dominance of big tech. The digital age has ushered in new challenges that traditional regulations simply weren't designed to handle. The laws of yesteryear, created in an era of steel and oil, now must be applied to a world of data and algorithms. It's clear that the rulebook needs an update. The future may see antitrust laws becoming more nuanced, tailored to the unique characteristics of the tech industry. This could involve redefining what constitutes a monopoly in the digital age. For instance, should a company be considered dominant if it controls a large share of data, even if its services are free for users? Moreover, the global nature of big tech raises questions about international cooperation. As these tech giants straddle borders, the enforcement of antitrust laws becomes a global issue. It's not enough for one country to take action. There's a growing need for international consensus and cooperation. The future may also bring a shift towards preventative measures. Rather than waiting for monopolies to form and then breaking them up, regulators might focus on preventing such dominance from the get-go. This could involve more rigorous scrutiny of mergers and acquisitions, preventing a handful of tech giants from hoarding the digital landscape. In addition, there's a mounting call for transparency. As algorithms become more embedded in our lives, there's a need for these to be open to scrutiny. This could lead to regulations requiring tech companies to reveal the inner workings of their algorithms. Finally, the future might see a greater emphasis on the social impact of big tech. Rather than focusing solely on economic factors, antitrust laws might consider the broader societal implications of tech dominance. As we continue to grapple with big tech's political influence, one thing is clear: the conversation around antitrust laws and big tech is far from over. As we move forward, let's keep this dialogue alive because the stakes are high and the future of our digital world hangs in the balance.